We're at the top of the hexagram. Today we are exploring the sixth line of the 63rd gate, the gate of doubt after completion. And the sixth line is called nostalgia. We started off this exploration of gate 63 by noticing just how the abstract wants to be logic and the logic wants to be abstract. And we can see it again here in our sixth line. You know, in both gates 63 and 64, both of them, there's this deep desire to be the other. The collective processes want to swap sides. The 63-6 would like to look backwards. And of course, logic is about the future. Logic operates out of the presence of projection to the future based on stable patterns. And the abstract? Oh, it's a collection of sequences from the past that we string together as our subjective history. So here's an attempt in the sixth line to try to be anti-logical. You could say it's the root of illogic. Ra said that chaos theory comes out of the 63-6 questions and inspiration. When we come to this sixth line, we come to a line of transition, of course. It is looking beyond. It is looking to the whole circuitry. When we're looking to the whole logical circuit, then a question has to end up that is not only answered, excuse me, but that its detail is brought out. And it then must be experimented with. It has to be perfected. It has to be corrected. It has to be focused and concentrated on. The whole process ultimately leads to that coming out as a role through the love of humanity in the 15, and then as a role in the 731 to guide and lead humanity into the future. And yet this sixth line is called nostalgia. The 63-6 can be very bizarre because the mental logic process has nothing to do with the past and everything to do with the future. But remember what the sixth line is like. It's waiting. And because it is waiting, it has this kind of longing to see the whole circuitry fulfilled through its commitment to that. So the moment that the 63-6 has a good question that is answered, they always remember it. Oh, and it's rare that they get the answers that really work for them. So when they do, it means something special to them. The exaltation says the good sense to avoid turning the previous struggle into an obsession. The logic of leaving old doubts behind. It's logical to leave those old doubts behind. It's logical to leave the past behind. However, it's not easy to do either of those things. And what happens to the 63-6 is that they're the ones who are sitting up on their hill who will tell you who has asked in the past the best questions. When it says the good sense, again, we hear abstract terminology. The abstract side is all about making sense out of things. Well, but they have the good sense or they don't. If they don't have it, they get totally involved in that. So either the good sense or the logic to leave it behind. You get your question, you've had your answer, don't keep on going back to it. In the detriment, revolutionary nostalgia, illogic and the potential obsession with old suspicions and doubt. This is a natural state for the sixth line here, to rise above the constant need to have their question answered because of the frustration inherent in that, and going up on the hill and simply examining the past and the doubts and the answers that have been available. If that's personalized and you take that into yourself, you've got a problem. You're really going to suffer under the mental stress and the anxiety. But there is a great gift for putting it outward. You know, the way that question was answered was like this, or the way that question was answered is like that. The 63-6 has the capacity of being able to recognize the value in other questions rather than being concerned about getting answers for their own questions. Logical people can also be incredibly illogical. And it's very important for us that the logical mind is sometimes pointing towards the past, as it does in this sixth line. And this can only come because actually of the influence of Pluto that is here in this detriment. It has led a lot of people to look into past patterns, to try to make sense of what could be a future pattern. This will only come out of the 6 lines. All 6 lines carry this mutative quality because they in themselves are transitional. When the question is really there, when there is a recognition of what is a question that is of value, what is a doubt that has to be answered because it is of value, we move on. We move on to the 22nd gate. We move back into the individual process, and we move back into the mutative process. And more than that, we move into the field where mutation can be socially transferred. Out of the 22-6 will be the grace that releases the mutation that will bring us into spirit consciousness. So it is very important for us that we do have access to the past in this time and that we look at those old patterns. The 63-6 keeps on saying, yeah, but they had it like this before. And it's waiting for the mutative force in the 61, which says, hey, there's something new to know. And then the whole process begins again. The abstract gets confused by it. The logic is doubtful and suspicious of it. The 61 is not doing a good job if they're getting ignored. The collective 6 lines are visionary, though Ra said he was not comfortable really with any term to describe what the 6th line does because it's also kind of intangible. To know that the whole circuit, to have that input, to know what it will be, wow, that is a kind of intangible thing. Both the 64 and the 63 are timeless because both of them are linked with time. And so the moment that they are in the heart of confusion or the moment that they're in the heart of doubt, time disappears. We have time problems logically. The 17th gate can be the worst timekeeper in the world. 17th gate causes everything not to be on time. It always has, Ra said, and it always will. It's just what it does. So there are time problems inherent in the collective logical process. Time can be there or not. The theoretical physicist who talks about no time-space, talking about such things. It is only possible to theorize that out of the logical premise. Logic plays with the future and plays with the time and the way that time moves. The grounding for the nostalgia in the 63-6 comes from victory in the 64-6. And we've been hearing about this relationship, that there is this strange thing that takes place between the 64 and the 63, that they kind of want to be each other. The 64-6 sits up there with all of that confusion and it says, I wish there was a logical way to make sense out of all of this. And the 63 is up there with all its doubts saying, I can't come up with the formula. Maybe somebody else has got a good idea. So they each want to swap places. The grass is always greener on the other side, whether you're logical or abstract. The moon has been in gate 35 since 1738, making progress perhaps, initiating change, getting bored. And so now it moves into gate 45 at 1738. This is the gate that says, I have. And so we can immediately sense the tribal possessiveness here. We also have a channel with Venus. Venus is in gate 21. And so we have the money line, the design of a materialist, a channel that works in different ways. Ra said, interestingly, Ra said at one point that he described it as the most difficult of the electromagnetics and also the channel that works best as an electromagnetic. So take your pick according to your own experience. I have experienced it, not both ways, of course, because I haven't got either end, but I've witnessed it as both the whole channel and as an electromagnetic. Either way, it seems tricky to me. It's an interesting one. If you have this, I'd love to hear your experience. If you have one end or the other, how is it for you when you meet the electromagnetic? And we have another channel as the moon moves into gate 12 at 3:28 tomorrow morning, meeting Saturn in gate 22. This is the channel of openness, and it's another manifestor channel. So this is something to watch. You know, if you are not a manifestor, you could take the opportunity to feel into these energies, because we will have had 3 manifestor channels over the last 24 hours. If you find yourself initiating, what's your impact? If you are a manifestor, it might be interesting to explore the manifestor energies that you don't usually have that are coming through the transit, and see if you feel any difference. If you have the 2212 and now we've got the 3536, how does that feel? Or is there any difference when the 4521 is in, if that's not your usual manifestor channel? And there are other ways of defining a manifestor within the chart. When I say these are manifestor channels, it means these are the pure manifesting channels. We've got the throat to a motor, pure manifestor. And that's the end of gate 63. That is our journey through that. We are now, as I said, moving back into the individual circuit. We're going back to the solar plexus for another couple of gates. So I will see you back there for that one, the overview and the first line tomorrow. Yeah, so until then, as always, I wish you well. And I was going to finish with gate 22. I don't know if you remember me saying that a little while ago. And then I had a look through my notes and through what I'd actually posted last year. And I realized that I will be doing 22 again. Because I think I only did the overview, so I will be doing the lines for that. And I will also be doing 36 and 25. And I will be finishing this journey around the wheel with gate 25, which I think is around the 22nd of March. That will be my last daily transit report. But I'm cooking up something really exciting. I had an inspirational hit through my 61, which I'm just playing with a little bit, and I'm getting chills when I talk about it. So this could be a really exciting new way to carry forward the energy that has built around doing this transit journey, and a way to keep the support going within the community to have this conversation that comes up between us all. So I will keep you informed as we go into manifest energy. I will keep you informed as to how that progresses, and yeah, we'll look out and see what happens. And also, I have this. The deep dive into the solar plex coming up. We have a free webinar. I'm doing it with my friend Michal. A free webinar on the 24th of March. And so if you would like details of that, look out for them. I will be posting information. It'll be on Instagram, Facebook, all the usual suspects. And also, if you sign up to my newsletter, then you will get the details there. And then that will lead into our current plan is 9 episodes, a series of 9 classes or offerings where we're going to talk about the mechanic of the solar plexus, when it's open, when it's defined, when it's in relationship with another defined, with over, and how the whole thing here works, because it can be really messy and interesting. And so I'm defined, obviously she's open, and we're going to have fun with that. So if you would like details, please do sign up to the newsletter or drop me a note. If I don't respond, when I look at the comments, I tend to only go back maybe 2 or 3 days. If YouTube flags up that I've got an unresponded comment, I'll go to it, but I don't always see them. So please, if I haven't responded to one of your comments, please do sort of let me know that there's something there waiting, and I'll make my way back to it, or go to Facebook and leave a note, because I always do see those. Or, as I say, join my newsletter and email me. Let me know what's going on for you, what you'd like, any support around. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking now. I'll be back tomorrow with gate 22. Thank you so much for being here with me. Take care. Go gently.